Hi, everyone. It is Alesha Brown, CEO of Fruition Publishing Concierge Services. Want to bring you this message, letting you know how we're moving going forward. So, real quick, first priority news I want to share with you is the fact we are launching a program starting in January 2024. Write with me. That is courtesy of the company. I believe is very important for you to have a dedicated space every single month where it literally is time for you to write. Now, the way that structure will sort of go is I will be there maybe for the first few minutes, giving you just something to think about this month on your writing journey as an author, as a writer, and then you will have a dedicated time, couple hours, to actually sit there and write. Now, what this is not is a pick my brain session. The brand, we have strategy sessions for that. We have coaching, publishing coaching, writing coaching, accountability coaching for all of those things. So you want that. That is more of that one-on-one help. If you have a group of people that you would like to write with and you want more of that style where I am more hands-on, you can pick my brains of sorts, we can have a group writing coaching, a group writing session at a fee. When I'm giving this program, which will be free for just that dedicated time for you to sit and talk, it is not for you to pick my brain. Those first few minutes where I'm going to give you some industry information is just that. From there, it is just for you to sit and write. And, you know, one of the inspiration behind that is always the NAMO Writers Program. I'm probably saying that wrong, but it's every November. It gives you time to sit up there and write something and make these goals where you're going to actually complete so much writing in that month span. It can be highly successful, but what we find as a brand is more people need additional time. They want to keep the momentum going. And I think this program we've come up with is perfect, is one of the things we're offering. Now, something else we'll be doing if you are a client of this brand or one of our future clients is we'll be going more on looking at your brand from the perspective of trying to assist you as much as we can, which we do already with our clients, to focus on this journey as a business. I know firsthand what it's like to be so excited about your book idea or your book, previous, current, as well as the ones you're working on. But what I also know firsthand, that alone is not going to make you successful. Everyone appears to be writing a book. And while a lot of people that say they want to write a book never actually follow up and execute, there's enough in the market where there are people that do. So you're always competing with them. And even if you have X amount of dollars you pay towards advertisements, marketing, and things like that, oftentimes you will find it's not enough. There are people that write dozens of books and have yet to see a return on their investment. There are a few people that maybe just wrote one book and seen a huge return on that investment. What is the difference? The individual. Because those that are highly successful know this is a business and they don't let their emotions and just their initial passions drive them. And those that don't understand business and that their author journey is a business, those that are so enamored with the cutesy idea of your book, the illustrations, the various pieces you can give added to that, are the ones that look like they're frustrated, that are always out here doing something, but it's not really having an impact. And we just want to help alleviate that. We can't do it all for you. And that's another myth that I try to continually expose. I'm talking about it all the time at conferences and publishing summits and journal writings in the industry. But somehow people just don't keep that at the front of mind. It's the fact that no publishing company, no publishing service, no tool out there, no software is designed to do it for you, all for you. I don't care who you go with. You can go with one of the big 5 publishing companies. They're not going to do it all for you either. There is no service. There is no tool. There is no resources where you can pay one fee and everything is done for you, and you sit back and just wait for those book sales to flow. If anyone's selling you that, they're ripping you off and scamming you, because it doesn't exist. All the big names you see who are authors, they have to work the program. And when you really look at what the big top 5 publishers do, that's why they only work with certain people, because they're looking at those people who are already highly successful and have a huge following as the type of people they want to work with and promote. Why? Because they know it's less work for them, and they have a bigger network, and they have more marketing dollars than you, than I, than any of the smaller companies, service providers that you're currently working with. But it doesn't escape the fact that you have to do your job. You have to do the work. It is a business thing. Can you do it and work full time? Absolutely. Can you do it to the point that perhaps your author's journey, your business, your income from that replaces your 9 to 5? Absolutely. Can you do it overnight? More than likely not. So we will be doing more things that zone on just that. And I say this all the time. Any smart business person knows they don't want to work with everybody, because it doesn't matter how great you are. It doesn't matter how profitable you are. In order to do and monetize your expertise, you can only work with a select type and a select number. Doesn't matter. I know millionaire coaches. I know multi-million-dollar enterprises actually being, in the cusp of about to go to receive another award from an entity for being a woman in business and my entrepreneurial success. But the point still is, you can't work with everybody. So it's the same thing like your books. Everybody doesn't need to read your books. Everybody isn't even going to love your books. And that really isn't a personal reflection necessarily on you. It's that what you're offering is only for a select audience. And I say this again, many of you who are clients know this from our strategy sessions. If you do not properly identify who your audience is, if you don't know them intimately, meaning what books they read, how they read those books, where they buy those books, how you connect and talk to them, you are leaving money on the table, because you just don't know who you're writing to, which means you don't know who you're marketing to. And even worse, you're writing books based on what you think is good versus identified audience. That's why a lot of authors are not profitable amongst those other things I mentioned, because you never clearly identify your audience. So you can't market to them. You can't write what they read. You can't even sell them what you offer, because you don't know where they go to buy it. Just having your book available on Amazon, just having your book available Walmart, Target online, all the distribution places will not make you successful. And if you don't know that, you will know that on your account, because you won't see the profits. To make sure that I focused on those things. And really, as a brand, we're trying to make this easier for you. One of the things you will notice in the month of December going forward, especially for members of the Profitable Author Association, as well as for clients, we will have monthly challenges. Because here's the thing, I say a lot of things over and over and over for those who take availability of what we offer. So if you're part of the Authors Association and you have strategy sessions with me, these are the things I tell you over and over. If you're a client, you're having a strategy session with me, these are things you're used to me hearing over and over. But what you don't keep at the forefront of your mind as a business is what you want to achieve. So again, I just had this conversation with someone on their strategy session this week. Would it be helpful? And I used to have this in the Facebook group. The template probably still there, but I'm just going to upgrade the one we used to use. If monthly, I gave you a challenge, and it really is the same challenge. What is your monthly goal for revenue for the month? And then how do you plan to achieve it? Should be common sense, but we get busy and we try to sometimes operate out of thought only, not a strategic plan. You cannot be a successful business. You cannot monetize your expertise if you don't have a strategic plan. As an author, what that partially looks like is having a revenue goal monthly and having a plan on how to get there. And that supersedes just your book. If you want to make $500 this month and you have 3 books, well, then you know right there, one of the ways to achieve your goal is by selling your books. So at the most basic thing would be saying, how many books do I need to sell at the price range I offer them at, and deducting my expenses for profitability, okay? If you don't know how many books you need to sell to get to your monthly profit goal, and you have no monthly profit goal, I can guarantee you that's why you're not being profitable. However, that is simplistic, because even if I say, okay, to get $500 this month, I have 3 books. This is what I sell them for, deducting shipping or whatever. This is how many I need to sell to get to 500. Cool beans. You're not done there, because now becomes the challenge. How do I sell that many books? Where am I going? What am I doing? What is my messaging looking like? You gotta go beneath just what I just said. Well, once I start asking those type of questions, then there's probably some other expenses, because I can assure you it's not just slapping something up on social media and that is how I'm going to sell those books. Because trust me, if you have a social media post in mind that you think is going to sell or help you sell so many books, you better strategically have a plan offline from the moment they see it to what they're clicking on to how you're carrying that conversation. Remembering, even if you use email marketing, you have to tap them at least 7 times to get 1 response at a minimum. Okay. So it's much more details involved than I'm just slapping up a social media post, or I need to sell X number of books. This is where we come back to, do you know your audience? Not who you think they are, but do you know your audience, who should have been the people you were writing for anyway? You were writing according to their language that they want to hear, what concerns them, what things your book solves, what problems your book solves for them. If you don't know the answers to those questions, guarantee you that's a big part of your monetization problem. Why books are not getting sold. Because there's a lot of people with the most poorly edited, poorly illustrated books who are selling and making good money. Why? Because they mastered marketing. They mastered marketing. And they're not always people with huge budgets or a huge team. Sometimes it's one person. And that is why I want to say, I could go on and on. Y'all know me. This is my soapbox. So I'm trying to make it short and brief, but just informative, and what the next steps look like that associate this email. The name of the game is, you got to stop the comparison. You also have to stop the, what I call analysis paralysis, because too many people, business, nonprofits, you keep looking at what someone else is doing, but you don't know the strategy behind it. You don't take the time to really research the game and know the strategy behind it. You're investing either not at all, or you're investing in all the wrong knowledge. I go to these conferences. A lot of times, as an expert that's speaking, I'm behind the doors with these people. I look at people when they tell me, I finally broke 6 figures. I had an example recently, person generated $600,000 in book sales this year. First time they doing that, they're very happy. But when you go further, what they didn't tell you is that book, how they generate the sales, they've already written about 18 books. And not just they've written 18 books, because I know plenty of people that did that and more, and they're still not profitable. They've invested a good $400,000 plus, almost $500,000 in advertising to get that $600,000 in revenue. Doesn't look like they're winning so much. Because guarantee me, if you invest almost $500,000 in advertising to get $600,000 in revenue, there's other expenses in that you haven't even accounted for yet. So your actual investment is probably still keeping you in the red, although $600,000 look good. We didn't talk about the investment of how much it cost you to publish the book, the illustrations, the writing time, the people that had to be involved with formatting and all the things, ISBNs, all the things that go into publishing and marketing. When you consider those costs, actually that person that's boasting $600,000 in revenue for their book sales, you just lost. So if you compared yourself to them, well, I see their ads everywhere. I see their social media. I see this. And if you just have the surface, oh, they made $600,000 in revenue. Sounds good until you start asking the right questions and you get the right information. But that doesn't mean you can't win. But what it does mean is you're going to have to really niche in. You're really going to have to know what you do and do well. You're really going to have to know what help you need, and you're going to have to focus. Because I know a lot of people, and I can use this example. I know someone personally, they're very good with talking. They're the rah-rah person. They can talk a big game, but they don't execute. And I just saw something major. Because they don't follow up, they don't even know. They just lost 2, 3, 4, 5 opportunities that I was able to get because they won't focus. And they are still in everything they touch, looking at this one, looking at this one. Oh, my business is going to do that. Oh, my business is going to do that. No, it's not. Because one, you're not that person. But number two, you don't lead well, you don't follow well, and you doggone sure don't follow up. And when you put that combination together, that's the recipe for disaster. I don't care who you work with. That is the recipe for disaster. Some people are just unstable and double-minded. You talk well, but you don't execute. And see, when it comes to a business, I'll just go from the CEO perspective. I can have an amazing team. This one do this, this one do that. But if I'm the one that's the bottleneck, as the lead, it's not going to work well. It's not going to execute well. Doesn't matter the gifting, doesn't matter the labor, doesn't matter the staff. If the leadership, if the boss can't lead that team, a lot of money we just leave on the table. A lot of things we could be doing. We don't. But it looks good on social media. It looks good if you dress up and get recognitions and you're speaking over here. But what's going on behind closed doors? So I just want us to be in this space, especially for our clients, especially for those that are engaging with our platform, especially for those future clients, to be able to focus, monetize your expertise. That's the whole thing about my brand. How are you monetizing your expertise? And coming up, going forward, how I've been polling some of our clients. How do you plan to master your brand? And some of the answers they're giving me, I'm looking like, oh no, we really need to come to Jesus, which is some of the programs we will be doing, because you can't answer my question, not even to how I've taught you. We got a problem. Because mastering the market doesn't look like you're going to sell more books or you're going to do this. Those are like the symptoms, the results. Mastering your market means how you are known, how your brand is known. And that is far beyond how many books you sell. Far beyond that. So, wanted to come in with that message, just giving you some words of thought, some motivation, transparency, and how we're moving, how you can move along with us. And as always, in the comments, email us. Let me know how this resonated with you. Of course, if you need help, you know where to find us, fruitionpublishing.com contact page. If you're viewing this, this means that you are on our client email list, our coaching email list, our private email list, because I want you to master what you're doing. I want you to monetize your expertise. I want you to be able to have the meetings I just had, where we just solidified brand deals, brand collaborations, this for different entities I'm a part of. And with one meeting earlier this week, 2024 for me and my brands look booked. I like that. I like not just the speaking engagements that I knew, not just the award things that I knew, not just the opportunities that I knew about, but when I had a plan for this and one meeting, got those yeses, got that funding, got the programming, you booked me out for 2024 mostly. I like that because with the plans I have for 2024, a lot less people will have access to me, but the people that should have access to me, my clients, our brands, you will. And that's the same way it should be for you and your business. Laser focus, strategic planning, thinking, and most importantly, execution. If you don't remember nothing about what I said, you can have the most brilliant mind and the most brilliant people working with you. But if you fail to follow up and execute, you might as well not had any of that. We need to move wiser, more strategic. Why? Because it's not about the money. I was speaking at a publishing summit earlier this week, and that's why I was telling my publishers, listen, this isn't really about money when you're saying you want to increase your profits. It's really about freedom because money, financial freedom, financial profitability gives you more freedom and choices to do what you say you love, to monetize and do the expertise you say you have, not to be all people and everything to everyone, but to do what you know and grow what you know and scale what you know. If you're struggling with finances, if you're struggling to try to live the dream while I'm also trying to fund the dream, then you have less choices, you have less freedom. And you may have to give up what you love because right now I have to worry more about paying bills. And there's no shame in that. If you have to take a pause because financially I need to get myself in order, before I resigned from my employment, what I said was, you're going to be my sponsor. Until I can get things together strategically to be able to resign, I looked at that employer as my sponsor. It changed the game for me. So there's no shame in that. And I tell entrepreneurs, when things are just not in a good place for whatever reason, if you're seeing what you're planning isn't working and you need cash now, which look like you may have to go a part-time job, maybe you go back to another job, there's no shame in that because it's not saying you failed. It's not saying you don't have what it takes to pull it off. It's saying that I see right now, I have a need here and I need to address that. But this, I either pause or I have to rethink things and I'll come back. Just don't be out here willy-nilly doing whatever, hoping against hope, looking in the air, hoping something magical is going to happen when you're not doing the work to make that happen. Okay? So yeah, you need help. You know where to find us. You have this email, wherever you're viewing this from, you can respond in the comments, you can email us back. We are here to serve, we are here to help. And of course, with this link, sign up for the Write For Me program. Read the details. If that is for you, then sign up for our Write With Me program. And we will see you in the month of January 2024. More details are coming, but be blessed, be profitable, and what? Monetize your expertise. All right. Alesha Brown, CEO, signing off. Bye-bye for now. And see you on the winning side.